In today's interconnected world, partnerships between Indian and foreign universities hold great promise for creating centers of excellence that foster innovation and academic growth. A recent example is the collaboration between UPES and the UK's University of Law to launch a Centre of Excellence focused on research in artificial intelligence and ethics. The partnership also includes a student mobility program for international exposure, formalized through a signed MOU.
The signing of the MOU for me is the logical conclusion of what we've been doing actually in small steps for the last 4 years. And I think this is bringing to fruition the relationship we've been building over that time, and it's taking it to another level. I think for the University of Law, we already offer study abroad options to students. We offer campus mobility within the university already. So, for example, at the University of Law, if you're a student studying in Birmingham and for personal or other reasons you need to move to Manchester or to London, at the end of a semester we have a campus switch program and you can move campuses. The logical step for that student then is, could I study abroad? And so, yes, this MOU envisages students both from UPS in India, but also students from the University of Law in London or any of our other campuses also having a semester abroad, or possibly a full year abroad, depending upon the program and the mode of study. But absolutely. And I think that is really important because it exposes students to an international, global view of education, different ways of looking at and solve problem solutions. I think it's really important for student growth, and it enhances their CV. As I said at the start, we are explicitly focused on getting students into the careers that they want. 95% of our postgraduate students are in full-time professional employment 15 months after graduation from us. So that's 95% employment rates. And I think that will only increase with this student exchange. Yeah. Obviously, we have a shared legal heritage. And so the principles of contract law, the principles of the law of tort, of equity and trusts, are identical. The principles are absolutely the same. So I think that's a very important point. India is a common law jurisdiction in the same way that England and Wales is a common law jurisdiction. But clearly there are differences. I mean, I talk very specifically, for example, about the law of England and Wales, because at the University of Law, we do not teach the law of Scotland, nor do we teach the law of Northern Ireland. They are separate jurisdictions, very similar, but distinctive. So it's the same way, with the law of India, very similar, but not identical. What is identical are the skills, the behaviors, and attitudes and outlook that lawyers need in a global world. So the emotional intelligence, the ability to empathize with the client, the ability to stand up in court and plead your case on behalf of a client, the ability to negotiate, the ability to do legal research, the ability to draft documents. I could go on. I mean, this is not a lecture. I should stop, I should say. But the skills, the behaviors and attitudes are identical. And I think that's what we share.
Yeah. Apart from, the essential skills, which Peter has already highlighted, and the common law platform, which I have already highlighted, one thing is very important. If you look at any jurisdiction, look at all the top law firms there, you will see an India desk. So therefore, if we have to prepare our students to work in every other jurisdiction, this kind of a collaborative, effort is required, and they must have a platform where they can learn, these essential skills. I've stopped using the term soft skills because these are no longer soft skills; these are essential skills. Unless and until you have it, you can't really progress professionally.
For me, the biggest shift is happening now, and it's around legal technology and the integration of AI into the profession and the impact that will have. And that change is happening now in legal education, because we are incorporating, or have incorporated, legal tech and AI into our programs. I mean, some are completely explicit. So, for example, we have master's degrees in legal technology, in cybersecurity, and so on. But also, even at undergraduate level, we are having to work with students around the use of AI, for example, in the submission of work. I mean, the first point is, as a university, how do you ensure the integrity of the award that you make, and that you are training and educating your students in the intelligent use of AI, which will then further their career. And if I may indulge myself, I'll tell a little story here. Last year, about 18 months ago, there was a case in New York in which the plaintiff was suing Avianca, the South American airline, for personal injury. And the lawyers for the plaintiff used the well-known chatbot ChatGPT to research case law to support the plaintiff's case. They cited these cases to the defendant, to Avianca, to their lawyers, and to the judge. Neither the judge nor Avianca's lawyers, the defendant's lawyers, could find the cases because they didn't exist. ChatGPT had made them up. Yeah, the lawyer was fined, I think, $10,000. Their reputation was trashed. Yeah, and the judge said, you know, you can use artificial intelligence, but use it intelligently. And I think that actually demonstrates, and I think it's one of the main reasons we have chosen as the focus for our research, at least initially, is the link between AI and professional ethics. Because that case demonstrates very clearly the dangers of simply relying on something that you find online without triangulating and without using intelligence. So that's why at our LLB, our undergraduate program, we are introducing students to the use of AI. First, because they were going to use it anyway, and secondly, we need to prepare them for the real world of practice where they need to use it, but use it intelligently. And it is so fast changing, this world. I mean, you know, from week to week, from month to month, it is changing. So I think for me, that's the biggest impact that we're going to see in the next 5 years. The use of legal tech, which is hugely taken off. I mean, 20 years ago, when I was in practice, if you wanted to compare two documents, you needed two people in the room, one reading the document out, and the other marking any changes. I can now do document comparison on my laptop with Word. Yeah, and that's a very simple example. Yeah? When I joined the legal profession, I was the only person in chambers with a laptop. It weighed about much as this table weighs, I think. You know, I sort of dislocated my arm carrying it around. It was a huge thing. You know, paper is, you know, almost obsolete as well. So it's all about those things, the use of legal tech, the use of AI, and how we prepare our students for that future. My prediction is, you know, is you get lawyers behaving like robots will be replaced by robots. Yeah? And therefore, you have to demonstrate as a lawyer what additionally is it that you are adding. And I think it's very much what Dr. Abhishek talked about, which is, you know, it's not about the soft skills, it's about the essential skills, which for me are around emotional intelligence. You know, it's about self-awareness, it's about motivation, self-regulation, effective communication skills. All of those things are going to be what services the lawyer is buying, what the services the client is buying from the lawyer in the future. Because if any member of the public can go on ChatGPT and ask a solution to a legal question, then what's the point of the legal profession? But I think the question I've demonstrated through Avianca is it has a very important role to play. I mean, you know, ChatGPT is not going to be able to negotiate for you in real time. It's not going to bang the table and stop the discussions and walk out of the room, you know, and set down what are your, you know, your red lines in the sand, and that's mixing the metaphor. What are your lines in the sand, or what are your red lines, and so on, you know. I mean, my view is that legal tech and AI is not going to replace the legal profession. But lawyers who use legal tech and AI intelligently will replace those who don't.
At UPES, we realized this 2 years back. And therefore, at the law school, we launched a specific specialization called Disruptive Technology Law. We are the only law school in India which actually offers a specialization which is attached to the degree on AI and tech, which is Disruptive Tech Law. We need to understand how these large language modules work. Now, as Peter mentioned, garbage in, garbage out, you have to understand that the LLM simply does data scraping with whatever is available in the public domain. So of course, it may hallucinate, it may give you wrong information, it may give you fabricated information, incorrect information. So the real issue for universities and people who are using the Gen AI platform is verify it, cross-check it. And also it's a tricky one for university. Should we allow our students to use it or not? And as a university, we have taken a call that we don't want to restrict use of Gen AI.
Indeed, AI is transforming campus operations, teaching, and innovation. To build a future-ready academic ecosystem, it must be adopted ethically and strategically. Collaborating to create centers of excellence can drive research, innovation, and talent development, benefiting India and its global partners in a knowledge-driven world.